This sure was one of the playoffs of all time. Narratives, revenge games, and blowouts. Now let's go over all the teams that came up a bit short.
Way to go! Way to fucking go! Fucking garbage! Puke ass motherfucking dog shit!
I mean, no shit the Steelers lost. I mean, it was closer than I thought it was gonna be, but I mean, it was still a blowout. Buffalo was just a better team in every facet of play. Better coaching, better defense, they're more healthy, and most importantly, better quarterback play. That's no disrespect to Mason, as he actually had a great game. But Josh was just a peak fire god, especially with the 50-yard touchdown run. Just peak. Future for Pittsburgh is interesting, to say the least. I mean, what do you do at quarterback? Do you roll with the the red zone reindeer? Do you go back to kit mittens? Draft a quarterback or decent, or a veteran like Russell Wilson if he's cut? There are a lot of different directions that you guys could go, and it could definitely hurt the team in many different ways. Tomlin keeps getting this team to 500, but no playoff wins. And I love him, but there gets a point where you need to let him go if he's going to continue to come up short. It'll be a very interesting offseason for a team that probably shouldn't have been here. But thus is the standard. I downloaded Peacock for this? The fucking Patriots would have had a better offensive performance than the supposed greatest show on surf. Tua played horribly, and if it wasn't for Tyreek Hill being a god for one play, this team would have been probably shut out. This team, time and time again, fails miserably against good defenses, and it's even worse when they have to play against good teams with good defenses. Tua is not the answer, and he's actively hurting this offense. Tua is the definition of a system quarterback. He only performed in McDaniel's systems that has Tyreek Hill, and he can't win shit when it comes to big games. You can call Big Cock Brock and Jalen Hurts system quarterbacks with some justification, but at least they can beat good teams and win in the playoffs. This is a genuine question to any Dolphins fans who see this video. Do you genuinely believe Tua is worth $50 million a year? Because with the market, that's what he's going to be getting paid. He's always put up good stats, but he just can't perform in big games, and like the rest of the team, falls hard in December. I understand that going from Miami to negative 27-degree weather is difficult, but Jesus Christ, it's every goddamn year with this team. They're Super Bowl contenders at like week 5, and then it gets cold. They have to play good teams when they start to lose. They lose an extremely winnable game to an inferior team because it's cold, and all the injuries start to pile up. I mean, losing to Tennessee? That lost you guys the division and lost you guys a home playoff game. And I mean, with the injuries, last year it was Tua, but this year it was 12 starters on defense. Jesus, how did this defense play so well? Like, even as a Patriots fan, I kind of feel bad for them because the injuries are just the worst way to lose. Even without them, with how stale this offense got against good teams, I don't even think it would have mattered. Just another wasted season as Tyreek Hill inches closer and closer to the end of his contract. And if he keeps his word, he's going to end up being gone after this season. It's midnight, Miami. Go get yourself a new QB and pray to the injury gods. You're lucky this was on a streaming service literally no one uses, or else you'd be getting a lot more shit. Also, a bit of a fun fact for you guys, the Dolphins have beaten as many playoff teams as the Panthers this year. That's not a joke. Look, I've made horrendous takes, but when it comes to sports, but this probably takes the cake. The Cleveland Browns making it to the Super Bowl. This was just one of the most gutless performances I've ever seen out of a Super Bowl contender. You had Joe Flacco playing the best football of his career, and what do you guys get? 2 straight pick sixes to basically end the game for the Browns. The number 1 defense in football? Well, of course it lets up 40 points to a rookie quarterback that has no run game. Okay, I understand CJ's a special kind of rookie quarterback, but still. The team was just disinterested in the second half. The team's main problem this year was turnovers, and playing against a young, hungry team at home that's supported to hell and back by their fans, you just can't give them that kind of momentum. Cleveland came to this game laughing their asses off that they got to face Houston instead of Jacksonville, and they got slapped so hard I had to check Adrian Peterson wasn't on the Texans' active roster. This was an amazing season that just feels wasted. Now you guys have to deal with a possibly washed, sexually predator at quarterback, Nick Chubb, who is probably gone, and he's also injured, so even if he comes back, he might not be the same. And Cat Pell's gonna hit you guys hard due to that aforementioned sexual predator. And I want to feel pity for you guys, but I don't. This organization has been the laughingstock for so long, and right for things with looking up, you guys traded Baker for a half-eaten bag of peanut M&Ms and now are royally fucked. Like, you deserve every single loss that's going to happen to you over the next decade. And just another thing, sticking on the Baker thing. Baker now has more playoff wins than Deshaun. Was it worth it, guys? You sold your soul for a quarterback that's worse than the quarterback you've had before. It only cost you guys $230 million and 3 first-round picks. Fate has a sick sense of humor, doesn't it? Jared Goff, the quarterback that you guys threw away and called trash, has been sitting in silence for the last 3 years to see his team win a Super Bowl, get to see Matthew Stafford steal his legacy, and he finally got his revenge on Stafford, McVay, and the city of Los Angeles. For the 3 Rams fans that actually went to this game in person, it had to sting. The city of Detroit did what you guys never could and cheered on Goff. Defense was turned into Swiss cheese for the first half. And although the scoring definitely slowed down, you guys just could never pass the Lions. On top of Goff getting his revenge, Reynolds got his revenge too. This game was just crazy, and at the end of the day, the narratives win. You guys overperformed and it showed. The Lions were the better team. They run the ball better and had a bit more talent on defense. Hurts seeing the season end like this, especially with the fate of Aaron Donald being so up in the air. But with Puka and Kyron's futures looking bright, you will hopefully be back, but hopefully next time you guys will have a much better defense. And the winner of this year's 2020 Steelers Awards goes to, despite the Jaguars trying to give it their best, it goes to the Philadelphia Eagles. Good job, it's the only thing you guys are winning this year. I mean, this is just embarrassing. This team was running a high school offense the entire year, and their best game plan was being bailed out by A.J. Brown. Oh, so he's not playing. Yep, they're fucked. Fly Eagles fly all the way to Cancun. This is just one of the most disinterested defenses I've ever seen. I mean, they refused to even tackle. Matt Patricia was butchering play calls and insisting on playing man, despite them being very obviously overmatched. This team has just been out-talenting teams, and it's fitting that it ends in a game where the tush-push fails and they got bitch-slapped by Baker fucking Mayfield. Dallas sure did break a streak this year. They're the first team to lose to the 7 seed. Oh my god, this is just amazing. No matter what y'all do, the Packers still owe you your poverty ass. You guys have the same amount of playoff wins as the Giants, Deadskins, Panthers, and may I go on. This is just a masterpiece. The script was right there for you guys to lose to the Lions next week, but instead you guys got owned by the Packers. And it wasn't even Aaron Rodgers. It was fucking Jordan Love. Here's a fun fact. The Packers now have more playoff wins in AT&T Stadium than the Cowboys. I think you guys deserved this one. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. How about them Cowboys? Poverty-ass franchise. I'm still in absolute awe that I'm talking about Houston right now. Baltimore's looking beatable in the beginning of the game, but without Tank Dell, or really any playoff experience, it's going to be almost impossible to win. But well done, Houston. This time last year, you guys were the laughingstock of the NFL. They had 2 straight one-and-done head coaches, and they just fucked over their own tank job. Everyone and their grandmothers getting their jokes in. This team needed a boost, and after drafting C.J. Stroud at number 2 instead of the number 1 prospect in Bryce Young, they made a gamble and traded away their own first-round pick from this year, and as well as their number 12 overall pick to draft Will Anderson Jr. Now, about Bryce Young being the number 1 prospect thing, well, he just had a horrendous rookie quarterback season, while C.J. Stroud had probably the best rookie quarterback season of all time. Jesus, man, Bill Lovie Smith a statue. All jokes aside, this loss, although being played with house money, still stings. Like I said, there are opportunities to win, but they just couldn't capitalize. Between Lamar proving his haters wrong and the fact that it seemed like at least in the first half, Houston was getting flagged every other play. And it isn't even a knock on officiating, as they were the right calls, just undisciplined mistakes. This team was not ready for the Baltimore weather or crowd, and Lamar's just in his bag, and there was just no possible way this team was going to be able to pull off the upset. So how magical it would have been. Good thing to keep your heads up in the... And CJ, thank you for making my ego feel better, considering I said you were better than Bryce in the drafting process. Now, let's not talk about how I said Tyree Wilson to be the best defensive player in the draft. I'm just going to say, if you're surprised by this outcome, you're an idiot. This core has just not been able to get over the hump, and you can't blame anyone. You can't blame Sean, because he only had 4 healthy linebackers, and half of them got fucking hurt. Milano and White's presence on the defense were missed very much. Josh Allen played another amazing game, so you can't blame him. I mean, he went around running around like a madman, and even throwing laterals. It's just sad. Even Diggs dropped a perfect 60-yard bomb that had him dead in the hands. But without their secret weapon in Kadarius Toney, due to him being once again hurt, this team just had no chance. It's just pure pain. Wide right. Fucking again. You can't even be mad at Bass because he's been money the rest of his career. Like I said, the problem there is that there's no one to point fingers at this season. You already got rid of Dorsey, and now there's just truly no one to blame. Just sad. You guys are probably going to be back here next season, but you guys will also probably be losing again next season. The more things change, the more things stay the same. The Packers still can't beat San Francisco in the playoffs, and I can't get any bitches still. The Niners were looking beatable, but Green Bay just didn't have any playoff experience to capitalize. Joe Barry, despite being wanted by the entire state of Wisconsin, actually called some really good defensive games this playoff run, and the Niners were dropping some very important passes. Love didn't throw for the most yards, but personally I wouldn't hold them against him due to how many goddamn pass interference penalties were being called against the defense, which obviously would hurt his stats. Unfortunately, this team just couldn't capitalize, whether it was the drop pick 6, the missed kick, or the failed red zone trips. This team just ran out of gas and the better team won. There's no shame in going into Santa Clara and not being able to win, as it was a near impossible task. They went punch for punch with them, though, and I have a lot of respect because of that. This season fittingly ends with a blast to the pass, with Jordan Love chucking in triple coverage for no reason, considering there was 50 seconds left and they only needed 20 yards. But like the Texans, you guys are going to be back, and you guys are going to be one of those dangerous teams in the future. It was a good run, boys! Baker Mayfield had a huge redemption season and led this team to a playoff win. It was going to be difficult beating Detroit, but I got to give you guys props going blow to blow with them. Detroit was just a better team, unfortunately. Mike Evans had some crucial drops, one of which turned into an interception, but he made up with huge plays. This should be an interesting offseason, as Mike Evans and Baker are both free agents, and there's going to be some difficult choices that have to be made. How much money is Baker going to want? Todd Bowles has saved his ass, and what he needed it most is Darling in the defense fell apart, mainly due to the Lions being able to target backup cornerbacks with their best players. It's unfortunate, but this team could not start anything in the middle of the field. And, I mean, it's just sad because the defense is great outside of that. But, I mean, unfortunately, there's so many ifs for so many different teams that it's hard to say, what if this team was able to defend the middle of the field? Just lick your wounds, re-sign Baker and Mike, and you guys will be back. I think. But who knows anymore? This football is just fucking insane, and I have zero trust for the NFL anymore, because I thought this team was going to be bad, and they made it to the divisional round, so who knows?
Who and what I am, because you need me! You need me to save you! You do? I am the only one who possibly can. You're not the real hero. I'm the real hero. Fine. I'll do it myself.
You are our last line of defense! But when we needed you most, your offense's output turned into fucking diarrhea. This was just horrendous. This team's offense had no urgency, 3 careless turnovers, one that was in your own red zone, and the other 2 were in the Chiefs' very own end zone. Lamar just looked confused whenever the Chiefs blitzed him. Look, I hate the Lamar is stupid narrative, but I'll give the Chiefs credit for making him comfortable, but he did look confused and scared out there, even though it was at home. Baltimore should have won this game because they played better than the Chiefs in almost every way but the turnover battle. Unfortunately, that's what matters most sometimes. This is Lamar's legacy game, and I'll be honest, for much as I love him, this game's on him. He needs to play like an MVP, and he unfortunately just didn't. And I'll give a shit ton of credit for how dominant this defense was, and holding the Chiefs to 17 points is really impressive. And it usually should lead to a win, but sadly it didn't turn out, as this is the darkest timeline. But I mean, the best rushing offense in the league, handing the ball off 6 times, like, are you trying to see Taylor Swift in the Super Bowl? A 17-point blown lead. I'm just at a loss of words. Like, I know San Francisco is better, or at least equal in literally every possible way when it comes to positional skills. But, I mean, a 17-point lead at half and you lose? This was a great season, but I mean, this was just depressing. I love you, Dan, but you need to take the 3 sometimes. I know you can't control Josh Reynolds dropping an easy pass on first down overall, but there were just so many missed opportunities. The flea flicker going right through JMO's hands just hurt to watch. Like I said, San Fran was by far the better team, but I mean, they need to be able to keep this lead. This is truly an amazing season. How good this regime is, they should be back, but like Campbell said, it's hard to get back to here. Realistically, this team is one shutdown corner away from winning a ring, but sadly, that's easier said than done. This team's grit can't go away, they can't be satisfied with a great season, and they need to hoist a Lombardi. You guys are a great young core, and the entirety of America wants to see you back. Just don't take another 30 years to win a playoff game. And I'll be honest, the easiest thing is just to blame the Pistons for winning, so I'm gonna do that.
Leave me alone!
Alright, sorry about that. But I mean, I just don't have words anymore. Look, as a Patriots fan, I understand this is how we were for a while, so I oddly respect Kermit and the Chiefs, but I mean, this is just ridiculous. All the drama this year, Mahomes having his worst statistical season, Kelsey looking washed as hell, the offense overthinking literally everything, and Kadarius Toney, and yet it didn't matter. They made it back to the Super Bowl, and they are inevitable even more than death and taxes. This defense is just absolutely insane. Chris Jones, Snead, and many more make easily the best defense Patrick Mahomes has ever had. You'd expect a team to be cocky, but this team plays like they're losing at all times. You guys are the new Warriors, and I fucking hate it. Now please, unlike the 2019 Warriors, minus all the injuries. Well, the curse has been broken. Kyle Shanahan finally won an NFC championship despite being down 17 points at half. I guess bro transferred his choking powers onto the Lions. That's low-key kind of impressive. All jokes aside, he finally got over the hump, but now he needs to beat the team that ripped his heart out the first time. And I'm not talking about the Patriots, the other dynasty. But now, this 49ers team is very different. There's no more Jimmy Jesus to overthrow wide-open receivers, and now he has Christian McCaffrey to hand the ball off every time. Brock Purdy has a chance to rewrite the narratives of him being a system QB and actually win himself and the rest of this loaded team a ring. Does that sound a bit like Lamar Jackson to anyone? Putting that aside, when I say this team is loaded, I mean it's loaded. Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, the aforementioned CMC, Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, Chase Young, Trent Williams, and I mean just so many more superstars. This defense has been looking pretty hit or miss under Steve Wilkes, but the sheer amount of talent on that defense means play calling shouldn't really matter. I mean, you don't call Nick Bosa cooking a right tackle for a sack. This team is loaded and it's their best shot at winning a championship with this core. Now please, Purdy, do not mess up. Please. Alright, it's prediction time. I'll be honest, I'm gonna go with the bad ending and say I'm taking Kansas City winning 27-24. But none of us want that to happen, so please, join me, my brothers, in a prayer. Oh, great football gods, please allow the Niners to win. Please don't allow Kyle Shanahan to have a 10-point fourth quarter lead. Please allow Kadarius Toney to play for the Kansas City Chiefs. And please don't allow Travis Kelce to propose to Taylor Swift at halftime. Please, God, have the Chiefs lose for the mental health of me and all other football fans. Please, I'm begging of you. Alright, I just wanted to say one more thing before this season comes to an end. Thank you guys for watching, seriously. For all of you guys that like the videos, that subscribed, this has been the biggest year of my channel, and I mean, it's been the best year I've ever had watching football, because I've been able to come back and write these scripts, have my editor, who is awesome and has his own channel, Brad Shannington, edit them, and overall just being able to enjoy them. being enjoy watching football at all times. It's definitely something that I want to be doing more, and I am going to be still alive in the off-season. I'm going to probably be doing some NBA stuff, but I'm also going to be going into some more history-oriented stuff. But I mean, once again, thank you guys for watching, and thank you to my wonderful editor, who definitely did a lot more work than I did, I'll be completely honest here.